Okay. So I'm Phil Huckelberry. I'm chair of the Illinois Green Party. And in the last couple of years, I've kind of become the Green Party's point person on dealing with all things petition-oriented. So what we've got right now is we've got a large stack of Tom Tresser's petitions. And what we're doing is what's kind of the final piece, which is binding everything. We've just completed the process of making sure that everything is sequentially numbered and so forth. So what we've got is we've got 182 petition sheets, and these 182 petition sheets have a little over 2,200 signatures on them. And for each of these, what we've got is a person that lives in Cook County. We've got a signature. We've got their printed name, because signatures are illegible most of the time. Their street address and the city that they live in. And some of the stuff that's been done up to this point is just to go through and make sure that everything's in numeric order, make sure that we have copies, so just in case something happens, we have copies that we can fall back on. And this process is just the binding process. What we've got to do is put everything together in correct order. We've got a certificate of deletions that goes in the back, and any time that a signature is stricken for any reason, it's got to be noted. That's one aspect of state law. Then we're going to have the petitions, and on the very top we have something called a receipt for a statement of economic interests, and then we have statement of candidacy. Statement of candidacy is just, hi, I'm Tom, and this is what I'm running for. And the statement of economic interests, the receipt is a really boring document, but the statement of economic interests is something that's filed with the county clerk just to, basically, the way that it works is if you are a hotshot politician, you have a lot of connections, in theory, the general public is interested in knowing who you're connected with, and that's why they have a document called Statement of Economic Interests. Almost everybody that I know that has filed one of those puts almost nothing on it, because they don't have any close economic relations with lobbyists, and they don't have thousands of dollars in capital gains every year or anything like that, because they are not rich, well-connected lawyers that are members of the Democratic and Republican parties. So all we're doing here is using the binding. Our binding implement of choice is a 2-inch prong fastener, which we happen to get from Staples, but which you can get from most any office supply store. And we use this because the state is very specific that things must be bound in book form. The law specifically says that you cannot submit a petition that is just one long, continuous piece of paper all rolled up. Not that anyone is crazy enough to try that. But you have to bind it with something where everything can be removed so it can be copied, but you also have to make it so that when it is bound, you can shake it, like this other petition over here. You can shake it and nothing falls out. That's what it means by securely bound. So the only challenging part of this is that now that we have these 2-hole punches in the top of everything, we have to actually get it to line up with the prong fasteners. But luckily we are educated enough to pull that piece of the puzzle off. So we've gone through this quite a few times with quite a few petitions. In 2006, we had 4,100 pages. Just as an example, this is a pretty thick stack here, and this is under 200 pages. We had a stack that was 4,000 pages when the Green Party fielded its first candidates for governor and other statewide offices in 2006. And to bind that, what we had to do is we had to go get insulated copper electric wire and thread all the petitions through that, and then tie the wire off at the top. The state election code didn't explicitly say that that was the way to do it, but that's what we had to come up with. The good people at Menards were able to help us get on the ballot that year. So a lot of this is common sense. A lot of this is just kind of, one step beyond common sense. And a lot of it is just the insanity of the election code, because somebody, we don't know who exactly, somebody is going to request a copy of Tom's petitions here, and they're going to go through them. The way that it usually works is somebody that's affiliated with the Democratic Party is going to request a copy of the petitions, and if they're going to go through them line by line, then they'll probably have law clerks or somebody like that, some poor sap that has to go through these. In Tom's situation, he needed 832 signatures. He has over 2,200. So if they go through it line by line, they will be wasting their time. But they will probably do it anyway because they have time and money to waste because they've already fleeced so much time and money from the taxpayers. So we should be, let them waste their time, and within a week we'll find out if Tom is on the ballot or if he's facing a challenge. If he's facing a challenge, then it goes through a pretty bizarre process that's really hard to explain because it's not actually written out anywhere. They literally make up the rules every time on the fly. Usually they use the same rules they've used before. They just make them up all over again. So it's not too bad. And you have to have attorneys present to kind of needle their way through the process. And when it's all said and done with this number of signatures relative to the number of signatures that was needed, and given the quality of the signatures, which we know that the quality is there, we really shouldn't have any problems at all. It's just, even if you have excellent signatures, they can still take you through this challenge process, waste your time, try to cause you to waste a lot of money, hiring attorneys and so forth. They have money to blow and we don't, but that's kind of how the game is played, and we've got enough experience at this point to actually know how to go up against them. So,
hey, Phil, it looks like you just finished finding that.
So the final step of this is just folding those little prongs over like that, and like I said earlier, it has to be something that is secure, something where you could remove the prongs and pull the sheets out so they could be copied, and something where if I hold it and I shake it a little bit, well, they're going to stay in place. So
okay, well, Phil, thank you very much for this.
That's a petition that'll get turned in sometime tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Thank you so much.